Have you ever sat in the quiet of your home, maybe sipping your coffee or staring out the window, and felt a strange emptiness? Not because something bad has happened, but because everything around you just feels still? Maybe you're retired now. The kids have their own lives. Friends don't call as often. And even though you finally have time to rest, something inside feels like it's missing. If that sounds familiar, I want to tell you something right now, something that might shift everything for you. Happiness doesn't depend on others. Not your children. Not your spouse. Not your social circle. Not even your past. It depends on you. And that's not just a feel-good phrase, it's a truth that can free you. Now, of course, people can bring joy into our lives. Love, friendship, companionship, all of those are beautiful. But if your happiness only exists when someone else shows up, calls you, or praises you, then what happens when they don't? What happens when the house is quiet, the phone doesn't ring, and the days stretch longer than you'd like? That's why this topic is so important, especially after 60. Because the older we get, the more we start to realize that people come and go. Relationships change. Roles shift. And if we don't know how to stand strong in ourselves, it's easy to feel lost. But here's the truth, you are not lost. You are arriving. Arriving at a time in your life where your peace doesn't need to be earned. Where your joy doesn't need to be approved. And where your worth is not tied to what you can give, but who you already are. Let me ask you a gentle question. When was the last time you did something just for you? Not because it made someone else happy. Not because it was expected. But because it brought you peace. Because it made you feel good. Because it reminded you that you're still alive, still whole, still worthy. You see, most of us spent decades caring for others. Whether it was raising children, supporting a spouse, working hard for a home, we were taught that our value came from what we did for other people. And in many ways, that was true. We gave love. We gave time. We gave strength. But now it's time to give that same love, time, and strength to ourselves. This is not about becoming selfish. This is about becoming sovereign, owning your life, your time, and your heart again. I remember speaking with a woman named Helen. She was 67, recently widowed, and told me, "I've always lived for others. I didn't even know what I liked anymore." She said she used to feel guilty just watching a movie alone, like she needed someone else there to make it worthwhile. But then she started a new practice. Every Sunday night, she lit a candle, made her favorite cup of tea, and watched an old classic movie, just for her. No phone. No waiting for someone else to join. She told me, "It's my way of saying, Helen matters too." That's what we're talking about. Little choices that say, "I matter," with or without an audience. Because here's another thing no one tells you, your presence, your energy, your life, it still has tremendous value. Even when you're alone. Even when no one sees. You don't need a packed social calendar to feel connected. You don't need constant praise to feel accomplished. You don't need someone sitting across from you to enjoy your favorite meal. What you need, more than anything, is permission to love your own company. To get dressed in the morning for you. To sit in stillness and feel at peace. To laugh at a joke you remember and not think, "I wish someone else was here to hear that." You are enough. Your own presence is enough. And when you begin to root into that, really believe it, you'll notice something amazing. Your relationships actually get better. Because you're no longer clinging to them for worth. You're no longer putting pressure on others to make you feel whole. Instead, You start showing up as someone full, not someone waiting to be filled. I once met a gentleman named Carlos. He was 74 and lived alone after his wife passed. At first, he said, he waited all day for his children to call. And when they didn't, he felt invisible, forgotten. Then one day, he decided he wouldn't wait anymore. He started a garden. Just a few pots on his balcony. He'd tend to them every morning, play soft music, sip his coffee. And over time, he stopped watching the phone. He started watching the sunrise. He told me, I used to think happiness was on the other end of a phone call. Now I know it's in the dirt under my fingernails and the smell of tomatoes growing. And isn't that something? When we stop chasing happiness through others, we often find it quietly waiting right where we are. So today, I want you to ask yourself gently, what little thing could you do, just for you? Not because you're lonely, not because you're bored, but because you deserve to feel joy from within. It could be a walk, a journal entry, a warm bath, a funny old sitcom, or just sitting outside and watching the clouds. Whatever it is, let it be a reminder that your happiness is not something that has to be given to you. It's something that already lives inside you, waiting to be noticed. And I promise you this, the more you practice finding happiness in your own presence, the more peaceful your life will feel, no matter who comes or goes. When you finally realize that your happiness is yours to build, something incredible starts to happen. You stop living on emotional roller coasters controlled by someone else's behavior. You stop waking up each morning wondering if someone will make your day better. And you start choosing yourself again and again in small but powerful ways. But let's be honest, old habits die hard. It's not always easy to just decide to be happy, especially when you've spent most of your life looking outward for validation. That's why it's important to be gentle with yourself through this process. Think of it like learning a new language, the language of self-love, self-trust, and emotional independence. And just like with any new language, it starts with small words, small steps, small daily choices that begin to rewrite the way you experience your own life. One of the first small choices you can make is giving yourself permission to feel good, even when no one is watching. You don't need an audience to enjoy your morning walk. You don't need a like on social media to validate your creativity. You don't need a family dinner to make a simple meal feel special. You can light the good candle. You can wear the nice sweater. You can sing out loud in the car. Because you are the reason. You are the audience. And when you start living as if your own joy matters, without needing anyone else to approve or witness it, that's when true happiness blooms. I once spoke with a man named Daniel. He was 69 and living on his own for the first time in decades after a divorce. At first, he said the silence was unbearable. He kept thinking, if no one is around to see my life, does it even count? But then, slowly, he began making small changes. He bought fresh flowers for his kitchen table, even though no one else would see them. He started baking on Saturday mornings, even if it was just for himself. He picked up painting again, not to sell, not to post online, but just because it made him smile. And he told me, it's funny. The less I needed someone to notice me, the more I noticed how beautiful my own life could be. That's the magic of emotional freedom. You stop waiting for applause. You stop measuring your worth by how busy you are or how many people you see. And you start tuning into something much deeper, your own presence. And speaking of presence, another powerful shift comes when you learn how to truly enjoy your own company. Think about it. You are the one person you are guaranteed to spend the rest of your life with. Isn't it worth learning how to love that relationship? That doesn't mean you have to spend every minute alone. Connection is still important. Community is still beautiful. But when your relationship with yourself becomes the foundation, not the afterthought, everything else feels easier, lighter, less desperate. One way to build that relationship is to start treating yourself the way you would treat a beloved friend. Would you criticize a dear friend for needing rest? No. You'd encourage it. Would you shame a friend for feeling lonely sometimes? No. You'd sit with them, offer comfort, remind them of their worth. Can you start offering yourself the same tenderness? Maybe that looks like making a simple morning routine that feels good, stretching, breathing, savoring a hot drink, not because you should, but because you deserve that softness. Maybe it's allowing yourself to cry sometimes, without labeling it as weakness. Maybe it's cheering yourself on when you try something new, even if no one else sees it. Every time you show up for yourself like that, you build trust. You build resilience. You build happiness that no one can take away from you. And you know what else? The quieter your need for outside validation becomes, the louder your own authentic joy grows. You stop living for attention. You start living for alignment. You stop performing for others. You start performing little acts of love, just for you. I remember a lovely story from a woman named Judith. She's 75 and spends a lot of her time at home, by choice. She said she used to feel guilty enjoying her alone time, as if it meant she had given up. But one day, she realized, maybe my peace isn't a sign that I've lost something. Maybe it's a sign that I've finally found it. Now, she gardens, writes poetry, and smiles to herself every time she hears the breeze in her backyard wind chimes. And she told me something beautiful. I'm not lonely. I'm full. That's the shift we're talking about here. Moving from loneliness to fullness. From waiting to receiving. From seeking outward to blooming inward. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need everyone to understand your path. You don't even need to feel joyful every minute. All you need is to keep choosing yourself. Gently. Daily. Kindly. Even on hard days, you can find something small to be grateful for. Even in moments of sadness, you can remember, I am still here. I am still worthy of joy. Because you are. You always have been. And you always will be. If you take just one thing from our time together today, I hope it's this. You are not waiting for happiness to arrive. You are living it now, in every small choice you make. Your life after 60 is not a slow fade into the background. It's not a story that's over. It's a new chapter, one written by your own hands, on your own terms. And the most powerful truth about happiness is this. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It doesn't have to be loud or busy or filled with people. It can be quiet. It can be gentle. It can be built slowly, one peaceful day at a time. You have the right to find joy in the simple act of waking up in the morning. You have the right to laugh at your own jokes, dance in your kitchen, cry when you need to, and feel proud of the life you've built, even if no one else is there to clap for you. Because here's the thing no one tells you. The applause was never the point. The recognition was never the goal. The real prize is knowing, deep in your heart, that your life is still rich, still meaningful, still full, simply because you are here, choosing to live it fully. There's such incredible strength in becoming your own source of light. It means that even when storms come, and they will, you aren't lost in the dark. You carry your own lantern. You know how to guide yourself home. I once read a quote that said, "The most beautiful thing you can be is yourself, without apology, without explanation, and without permission." And I believe that's even more true after 60 than at any other time in life. You've earned the right to live unapologetically. You've earned the right to prioritize your own peace. You've earned the right to stop asking, "Am I enough?" and start declaring, "I am more than enough." And you don't have to do it perfectly. You don't have to feel joyful every second. Some days will still feel heavy. Some moments will still ache. That's part of being human. But the difference now is, you know you have the strength to hold your own heart through it all. You know that loneliness doesn't define you. That quiet doesn't diminish you. That happiness can be found, again and again, in your own hands, in your own home, in your own soul. Every sunrise you witness. Every small act of kindness you give yourself. Every time you choose peace over resentment, gratitude over longing. You are building a life that's rich beyond measure. And the best part? When you live this way, you naturally inspire others to do the same. Without even trying. Your children. Your neighbors. Even strangers you meet at the market, they will feel your energy. Not desperate, not waiting, but grounded, whole, radiant. Because true happiness doesn't cling, it shines. And your light will be felt by everyone lucky enough to cross your path, even if you never say a word. So, as we come to the end of this conversation, I want to leave you with a simple but powerful reminder. You do not need to be more. You do not need to do more. You are already worthy of happiness, exactly as you are. No matter who calls, no matter who visits, no matter how quiet or busy the world around you becomes, you carry everything you need inside. And every single day, you have a choice. To live fully. To love deeply, starting with yourself. To find joy, even in the smallest places. To remember that your own presence is a gift, to yourself and to the world. So go ahead. Laugh loudly. Walk slowly. Rest often. Love freely. And never, ever doubt that your life, just as it is enough. You are enough. You are whole. You are free. And you are deeply, beautifully alive. Speech balloon, if this message spoke to your heart, I would love to hear from you in the comments. What is one small thing you do that fills you with happiness, just for yourself? Your story might just inspire someone else who needs it today. Thumbs up like this video if it gave you even one moment of peace. Bell subscribe if you want more conversations like this, gentle, real, and made just for you. Until next time, take care of your beautiful heart. Because no one else gets to live your life, only you. And you are doing it beautifully.